So last time I sat here and talked about streamlining my CV, there's a video up here that you could watch if you've missed it. There was a conversation that I had with a recruiter about needing to simplify things because there's just too many words and it's too hard to read these things. And there was a phone call that came through at the end of it, a very mysterious phone call of mystery as it were. That phone call was from the same recruiting company, although a different recruiter, wanting to talk to me about a potential role with NBC, the broadcaster that brings us such fantastic things as the Olympics and Seth Meyers, Saturday Night Live. I'm sure they have other things as well. They did have Community for a while there. That was a good thing. Wanting to know if I'd be interested in a PR role that they had there, because the problem that they had was that they didn't actually know what sort of person to put forward for a role, because they wanted somebody who had industry experience and PR experience, and it was kind of all over the place and it was a bit weird. So they weren't sure, so they reached out to me. One of the things I did check was which CV that they were using, and it was not the streamlined CV at all. And that just actually went nowhere. I said, yeah, no, we did the interview, had a nice long chat, and heard nothing back from them at all. Kinda sucky. But that's not really where the story ends. The story does end in a good place, but not there, not with NBC. Not long after that, I got a phone call from an app development company. Now, this company works on a really specific field of apps in the health and fitness sector. I'm not going to go into too many details because when I've done that in the past, it tends to get things a little more complicated with people who don't like me and who do stupid fucking things to try and get me fired. So I'm not going to go into too many details here, but what they were after was essentially somebody to help them with their social media stuff. But after we sat down and had a nice long chat, really long chat, they actually came back to me saying, we're keen, but, and you know, I've heard this a lot, you know, you're the perfect person for the job, but, and so I just like, yeah, okay, cool. We need to rewrite the job description to better match your skills. Like, oh, that is definitely a compliment I'm not used to getting. Had me gushing a little bit. I was like, oh, that's so cool. So they came back to me the week after that with a brand new job description. Essentially what they're after is a content strategist / word master, person who is going to do an awful lot of writing for them to help tell stories while at the same time building up the business and building up the brand and a whole bunch of other stuff that comes into play with it. It's actually a very exciting opportunity. I'm very excited for it. I've worked in the health and fitness sector before, so it's not something unusual, despite the fact that when you look at me, health and fitness is definitely not my top priority personally. It probably should be. I mean, yeah, I'm a week away from my birthday here at this point that I'm recording. I don't want to, yuck. But it is one of those things that it was a fantastic opportunity. So today was my first day. I went into town, had to catch the bus because my car is not working, but caught the bus, which was really cool. They had these really fun little flags on the bus service map, so you could see where the bus was, and they've all got rainbow community flags, which is so sweet for Pride Month. Went to town, the bus I was supposed to catch just right past the bus stop, which did not help, so I was a few minutes late, and the bus that had actually got me there eventually didn't take me to the closest bus stop. It actually took me to a bus stop like a kilometre away, so I still had to walk there a kilometre in a suit, in the sun. It was not a pleasant sight. I got to the end of it just going, which was more evidence that I need to worry about my health and fitness. That was kind of scary. Maybe that will be the next few blogs that I do, is how to get fit and healthy when you're in your 40s, because that's fucking hard as well. So, today was the first day of the new job. What actually happened today? Well, I got to meet the crew, and the crew were actually all very fun and really relaxed and easy to deal with. They're building up a marketing team almost from scratch. They've got a marketing person at the moment, and he's been given the free-for-all to build a team the way he wants so that they can do what they need to do. And the people that are on that team so far, the ones that I've met, all really lovely people. The person who runs the team, really nice guy. So it's a really comfortable setting to be in. There's also not a lot of travel to the office. There was today to get things set up and to do a training session and stuff like that, and to basically sit down so we could brainstorm and work out what it is that we need to do going forward. And this all sort of comes together. One of the things I'm really looking forward to is like a big live event in June that I get to put together. It's going to be very, very exciting. So more details on that a little bit later. And then we went off for lunch at a local cafe, and this was probably my favourite part of the day. The people that run the cafe are actually old acquaintances of mine from Hamilton, from before I moved up here. They actually used to run a cafe in Hamilton. They were regulars of mine at UB when I used to work in the Apple store there. And one of them was really supportive of me when I went through a really tough personal time about 10 years ago. Really great person to talk to. So it was so cool to walk into this cafe in Kingsland and see at least one of them there, the other one's over in the UK, and have a really good old sort of catch up and chinwag. And then we went back to the office and we played with Lego for the afternoon and talked movies like Kill Bill and Jurassic Park. It's a really exciting opportunity. And like all new jobs, everything's a little bit, because it's new, and not everything is 100% perfect. I mean, I have to work on a ThinkPad. Yuck. But overall, I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. And they've been really supportive of the contract work I've been doing with Auckland Council as well. So I can juggle both roles. They're quite happy to let me do that without there being any conflict of interest, because there is no actual conflict of interest there. So, as much as I tend to dislike February for a number of reasons, I have to admit, it's turned out actually not too bad so far. The one thing I will say, though, was that it was not the streamlined CV that got me the job. It was the fact that I had a longer CV with more detail in it that led me getting to this position, which was a better offer than what was on the table originally. So, when a recruiting company turns around and says something like, oh, you need to streamline what you're doing, I suggest you do what you're most comfortable with when it comes to putting together your CV, because ultimately it has to represent you. If you're not comfortable with what you're putting out there, then it's not really representing you, is it? Right, that's me for this episode. I will catch you guys later. Ka kite anō.